As you live through life and you seek out to manifest, create your dreams, follow your passions, pursue your purpose, the one thing that stops you, that prevents you, the one obstacle that always seems to get in your way is this thing called fear. What is fear? Fear is a creation of your imagination, which is by far your most powerful asset, your most powerful tool, and the ego, which is the side of you that wants to separate yourself from everything else. The part of you that its true intention is to protect you, but it does that by separating you, yourself, your body, your feelings, and really coveting and protecting it from any kind of harm that you have experienced before. It's basically a program, a system of acknowledging the hurt that you've experienced before and creating the triggers to prevent you from experiencing that again. So, the combination of imagination and ego is ultimately what creates your fear. Fear essentially is an illusion of the worst case scenario, an illusion of what you cannot do or what may happen if you do it and it goes wrong. Fear is an illusion that is not based on reality. In fact, when you really get into the things that you fear, the reality is the chances of that thing happening is very unlikely. So you want to really to overcome fear is about practicing mindfulness and getting into what is it that you are fearful of. And then going deeper into how you can create a space where you acknowledge that, hey, I am fearful of this, but it isn't real. You may have heard the line, fear is an illusion, danger is real. And this is basically the understanding that fear is something that you created in your mind, but when you look at things around you and you can acknowledge that it is dangerous, that in fact is real. But we often are stopped by fear. We often are stopped by the fear of people's opinions, the fear of rejection, the fear of trying something and it not working out. Because we are letting it stop us from pursuing our passions, pursuing our purpose. It is essentially our fear that is creating the space for us to be unhappy. And that is something that none of us want. We all want happiness. We all want success in our way. We all want to pursue things that we are curious about, pursue our dreams, pursue happiness. When we allow this idea of fear that has been implanted in our minds through various sources, whether it be media, whether it be our parents, whether it be family, childhood trauma, whatever it is, understand that the triggers and the programming that has been implanted in your mind is something that you can undo. It's something that you can unlearn. With mindfulness and really observing your thoughts, your fears, you get the opportunity to reprogram those triggers, reprogram your mind, and acknowledge the fact that this idea of fear, this thing that I'm fearful of, which is stopping me from being happy, which is stopping me from living up to my fullest potential, is in fact something that I need to get rid of. It's something that I need to transform. And you transform your fear and you use what we often call courage to push you forward, to say, okay, I am still fearful of this thing, but I'm going to muster up, I'm going to gather up enough information in my mind to understand that this fear is not real. And I'm going to pursue and jump into the opportunity of doing this once, doing this twice, doing this 3 times. The more you do it, the less fear you feel because you acknowledge the fear isn't real. When you do it, the fear becomes less and less powerful. Taking action is the thing that you have to do the most. And when you are pursuing something, it's important, it's imperative to understand that you have to figure out a way to take small, minute action steps to get you through the gateway of courage. When you can identify what it is that you're fearful of, you have to post or you have to kind of reverse engineer the process of what does it take for me to get this done? And if I'm fearful of this process, how do I break it down into such small steps that the fear is minimal? And you're just simply taking action on these small steps. And before you know it, you've broken through this gateway of courage with an understanding that, oh, it isn't bad. This isn't something that I should fear. This is, in fact, something that can bring me joy and happiness. This isn't something that is dangerous. And as you continue to use mindfulness to create this space of understanding the illusion of fear, dissecting this illusion of fear, mindfulness and management of your ego is what is going to allow you to push through this fear and pursue what it is that you want to do. Ego isn't the enemy. Ego is in fact necessary in this world. Ego is in fact, its job is to protect. The issue is we don't allow ourselves to manage the ego in a way that where we can keep the ego in check. And when the ego is not kept in check, when the ego is mismanaged or unmanaged or not even, maintained in any way, it's just running amok, then the ego will create fear around everything that you do. And you will be someone who worries a lot about things, or who is hesitant, who procrastinates, who never gets anything done. Because your ego is continually creating situations with your imagination to prevent you from feeling or getting quote unquote hurt or disappointed. But if you acknowledge that there is no such thing as failure, and you acknowledge that everything that you do is a step towards success, no matter what the result is, as long as you are continuing to do it, then you are managing the ego and bringing the ego to a space of control. And with the imagination, you can then focus on imagining the success of your pursuits, of the reality that the more you do something, the better you get at it. The reality that the more you do something, the more likely you are to be successful at it. And that is a universal truth. You have to understand that managing your ego, focusing your imagination on the positive, right, which is the thing you want to do, the thing you want to create, is in fact the source of getting rid of fear. It's the source of letting go of this idea that something is going to harm you. Understand your objective on this planet is to be your authentic self. It is to, in being your authentic self, to pursue the things that authentically make you happy. And if you allow fear to do that, then you are not giving yourself the opportunity to be yourself, to be happy, to be joyful, to be in a space where you are complete and whole, where you can absolutely express your purest self, to be the unpotential, the infinite potential of yourself, your reality, your space, everything that you can imagine and more. When you allow fear to take over, you essentially prevent yourself and you prevent the world from experiencing beauty on levels that you possibly can't even imagine. Understand that the significance of you fulfilling your dreams is not only impactful for you, but ultimately we're talking about potentially impacting the world, because it is individuals who impact the world. And if those individuals let fear, let their ego distract them or stop them from pursuing their dream, then no one would have affected and positively changed and contribute to the world in the ways in which they did. You are no different. They are human beings. You are a human being. You are a spiritual being living a human life. You have to understand that these things we all experience, but we all manage them differently. You have to dissect and understand the importance of your passion, the importance of your curiosities, the importance of you living your purpose. Because again, you are not separate than I. We are one together. You are creating your reality. This world is yours. This universe is yours. This universe and this world is a byproduct of what you're creating in your mind. So if you are allowing fear to create a space of, hesitation, procrastination, not getting things done, then your world will be a space that feels unsafe, and create a space where everything that is around you is unfulfilling, is creating more unhappiness, sadness, even depression. Be mindful about your fear. The fears are natural in the sense that you're going to feel them, they're going to come up. But again, the fear is not real. That being said, I invite you to let go of fear by managing your ego with mindfulness, observing your thoughts, asking yourself, is this real? The fear that you're feeling, is it real? And then dissecting that and understanding that it is not real. Allow yourself to use your imagination, which is your most powerful tool, to visualize and think about the possibilities of you being successful. Because without fear, if you continue to pursue your goals, your dreams, you will be successful. It's simply a matter of time. It's simply a matter of focus and dedication. With your imagination, it gives you the insight. It gives you the precognitive ability to be in that space of success way before it happens in this reality. When you manage those two things, fear goes away. The idea of failing, the idea of being hurt, the idea of being rejected, all these insecurities that come about will fade away once you tap into these two things and become your authentic self. Peace and abundance always.